So if you watched the Losing My Temper with My Sister story, you would know that I spent a couple of months living in New York at my dad's house in the winter of 2017. And I really enjoyed those 2 months because this was the first time I got a chance to kick it with my dad as a young man. You see, my parents got divorced when I was little, and of course, I lived with mom and spent time with dads on the weekends. But when I turned 13, my dad moved from Jamaica to New York to chase the American dream. Well, when it was my turn to make the move to America 3 years later, he was still in the process of doing that. So I ended up staying with other relatives while I went to school. But fast forward, I'm now 22 years old, a college dropout, and a full-time YouTuber who, on very short notice, needed a place to stay. Unfortunately, my dad chased the dream, caught the dream. It's now this big shot accountant with a new house in New York. So it seemed to me that it was officially time to cash in all those weekends of playing catch in the front yard that I never got. So I get to New York and just madness begins. Cause I have a young dad, you know, fun dad, too fun. You know, sometimes. Went to the Bronx a lot, felt not safe a lot, but had a great time. You know, and that's because my dad grew up in the hoods of Spanish Town, Jamaica. So he learned how to have fun in the trenches. So even though he's now this, you know, accomplished, educated, accountant guy, whenever he wants to have a good time, he goes to the gutter. Anyway, while I was at my dad's house, he let me do whatever, you know, I had complete freedom. And he always kept the fridge stocked with my favorite bear. My dad would come home from work, walk through the door and be like, "Hey son, I'm home." I'd be in the basement working on animations, already 3 beers deep, by the way. I hear my dad, I pop up to the kitchen, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Dad? How was work?" He'd be like, "You know, it was work." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I feel that. Want a beer?" Then he'd be like, "Why not?" Crack open a couple cold ones, you know, throw them back. And the night went wherever the night went, you know. Maybe we end up in the Bronx, maybe not. So now you understand what the vibe of the household was like. Now with all that said, I know my dad. And I know that as long as I was in control, he wasn't gonna tell me how much I could drink. So I made an effort to never let myself take it too far. But one night, I somehow miscalculated just how far I could take it, and I ended up face down in the guest bathroom toilet. It was just like any other night, right? I'm working on animations with a cold one sitting on the desk. 1 bottle turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, and before you know it, I'm up more than half a dozen. So I'm doing my thing, getting loose off the juice, when I hear my dad walk through the front door, pop up to the kitchen, say what's up, and we go through the whole routine. A few hours later, it's coming to the end of the night, and this was one of those nights where he decided to go to bed early. So he heads off to bed, and I decided to keep working on YouTube videos. But I'm still throwing back these bottles. Eventually, I finish all the beers, and it's like 1 in the morning, and I am proper drunk. So I'm like, okay, bedtime. Climb up out of the basement, head to the living room, fold out the pull-out bed from the couch, and then I lie down. And at that very moment, I realized that I messed up. You know what I mean? Because as soon as my head touched that pillow, that room started spinning. I'm like, oh, no, chill. I sit up, I'm like, okay, keep it together, right? Just had a couple of beers. You can't handle a couple of beers? What's wrong with you, right? Take a few breaths. I'm like, okay, don't throw up. Because if you watch my I hate throwing up video, you would know that I hate throwing up. Somehow, I managed to get the nausea under control, and I slowly sink back into the bed. So I'm lying down, and I just can't get comfortable. You know, I'm hot, I'm tossing, I'm turning, and I'm just praying for the sleep. And then I'm like, you know what? Nah, I ain't going out like this. If I'ma do it, let's just do it. So I get up, go to the bathroom, get down by the toilet, and now I'm just waiting. I'm like, come on, let's do this. Because the only thing I hate more than throwing up is the feeling of wanting to throw up. Eventually, I nut up and stick my finger down my throat. But never been good at that. so it didn't work. So I'm sitting on the cold tile floor by the toilet, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this was all in my head. I get up, walk out to the bathroom, and I start to head back to the living room. And as I'm walking through the kitchen, on the floor in front of me, I see a mouse, a little brown mouse. So I'm like, yo, what's good? He's like, so you ain't gonna give me no cheese? I'm like, I can't give you any cheese. I'm not supposed to give you food. He's like, that's okay. You gotta throw up. I'm like, what? He's like, you gotta throw up. I'm like, what? Wait, no. Yeah, don't know when I fell asleep, but yeah, woke up from a strange dream with a mouse and like 3 seconds to make it to the bathroom. And yeah, just spent a good 2 minutes hydro pumping into the toilet, and that was that. I, of course, slowed down with the bear skis after that. I don't think anybody in the house heard me or woke up, so mission accomplished, maybe? I know there's some kind of moral in this about moderation or some. Yeah, no, I've never been one to moderate. So, figure it out.